as investors, we're thinking, what are the policies that are going to impact our stocks, from nuclear power to renewables to pharmaceuticals? And we don't even have much to go on then, even if we know who wins. So it is a huge amount of uncertainty coming through. But I do think consensus has got a little bit panicky about this, or the consensus about, how messy this might be post-election. I'm pretty hopeful it might actually be fairly clean post-election, that the result will be more accepted than we think, because the US government has done a lot to make the process a bit clearer and less easily legally challenged.
How are you looking at this, Ted, from down under? Because, when you look at this election, I'm curious to get your thoughts as an investor, whether it changes the narrative a whole lot. For instance, I've been speaking to some of the miners over in Australia who've said that, they're looking at taking on the Chinese hegemony in some of these supply chains, and they've been beneficiaries, or they've found themselves as beneficiaries of, say, the IRA, for instance. So when you look at policy and sort of the ripple effects that could have globally, how are you watching that?
Yeah, I think the trade war is a massive thing. I mean, it obviously got a bit co-opted by the Democrats. They didn't wind it back as much as we would have liked to see. So we continue to have this controversy, this fighting over trade conditions. And that's a worry for countries like Australia that are pretty close to Asia. And if we got dragged into it, that would be an issue for us. But I still don't think we've got real clarity over what Trump might do on this if he wins. And if Harris wins, I think it's a fairly calm outcome for countries like Australia, where it's continuing what we've seen before. I don't see massive downsides for us here. I think there's other risk factors. So when we look at the miners and commodities, the Chinese economy is very much the big risk there, and actual consumption and demand of materials is the bigger risk there. That's not helped by a trade war. But that's where the stimulus packages are coming in from China. So we're so fascinated about what happens in China this week. And I don't know if we've got our hopes up a bit that we're actually going to see a huge stimulus package, and it might prove elusive. But that could really move the markets.